Identify and beat blackbeard algae. Have you ever noticed this unappealing black fuzz developing on the ends of plant leaves or the landscape of your aquarium? If so, it's probably blackbeard algae, also referred to as black brush algae, BBA. Black algae inside the fish tank are undoubtedly one of the most difficult types of algae to eradicate out of all the varieties that we encounter when maintaining freshwater fish. But don't give up hope. Even while getting rid of, it can be challenging, but not difficult. To know about all this, you need to watch the whole video. Please don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and activate the ring to be the first to see the next more exciting videos like this. The scientific term for black algae is Audwinella. Black brush algae, blackbeard algae, black algae, or simply BBA are frequent names for the variety of Audwinella that we come across in the hobby of aquarists. They generally develop on stones, driftwood, edges of leaves, or other sorts of adornment and resemble dark patches of hair. Black algae, despite its name, can be either dark red, dark green, or black in hue. Although BBA can be found in places with little circulation, it prefers to bloom there. Reasons behind blackbeard algae growth. BBA grows primarily as a result of aquarium instability, just like other algae. The presence of too many nutrients is probably the reason for this imbalance. The extra nutrients will be used by the black algae to fuel its growth and distribution through the tank. Inadequate quality of water, using too much fertilizer, low or variable levels of CO2, excessive light, or a mix of all the above may result in blackbeard algae. A tank that hasn't been regularly cleaned accumulates a lot of organic waste. These organic materials break down and release nitrates into the water, which are used by both algae and living plants to develop. It's crucial to remember that excessively feeding fish or having an aquarium with too many fish can result in more waste being produced in the tank. The majority of the time, a tank having BBA has either no CO2 or variable CO2 levels. BBA can extract the carbon they need from hydrogen carbonate considerably more easily than any other aquatic plant in the tank if there is a CO2 shortage. To clarify even more, black algae can differentiate the carbon from the hydrogen carbonate ion, which results in the production of hydroxide ions that raise pH. The algae utilize the calcium carbonate that precipitates as a result of biogenetic decalcification to strengthen their cell walls. Sadly, this makes it harder to get rid of the algae and harder for animals that eat algae to digest it. Ways to beat blackbeard algae. There are several ways to get rid of blackbeard algae in an aquarium. Just remember that unless the root problem is resolved, these are just temporary fixes and the algae will probably continue to appear. Reviewing your fertilizer maintenance routine, lighting schedule, and dosing regimen is highly recommended. Try to identify the source of the imbalance in your tank. Below are recommendations for removing blackbeard algae from your aquarium. 1. Glutaraldehyde-based liquid carbon additives. Liquid carbon additives can be dosed to plants or other items to assist to stop the development of black algae, but they may also be employed to get rid of it once it has colonized them. The liquid carbon additives Flourish Excel by Seacham is highly popular. With liquid carbon, you have two options: spot treatment or double dosing in a different container. The easiest technique to cure your tank is to spot treat the BBA if you are unable to get rid of the BBA contaminated plants or other components from the tank. To accomplish this, merely drip liquid carbon over the black algae using a dropper or pipette. Make sure to not use too much of the additive in the tank. Follow the steps given below in case you're not able to eradicate the contaminated hardscape and plants from the tank. Add the dose twice as advised based on the volume of water inside the container, then leave them there for 24 hours. After the first 24 hours, replace all of the water and give the plants another 24 hours in the fresh water. Before putting all that back into your aquarium, go through the whole procedure one more time. BBA should be killed off by doing this. Research the plant's susceptibility to liquid carbon before using this technique on it. Certain plants, notably Vallisneria and crypts, are susceptible to these kinds of compounds and may be injured as a result. 2. Hydrogen peroxide dosage. You can use a simple household ingredient, which is a 3% hydrogen peroxide solution, to get rid of a variety of algae in your aquarium. In general, the recommended dose is 1.5 milliliters per water gallon. Just as how liquid carbon is spot treated, blackbeard algae can be applied to stubborn locations using a syringe or dropper. Yet it's crucial to switch off your filter before spot treating your tank and to keep it off following 15 to 60 minutes. You may also pour it into a spray bottle and then shoot it straight onto any BBA-infested regions for larger tanks or a broader BBA issue. When the water level is sufficiently low to draw the algae out of the water, conduct this during the change of water. Before flooding the tank once more, allow it to settle for at least 5 minutes. The affected items and plants can also be submerged for 3 minutes in a hydrogen peroxide solution as a substitute. You should see the H2O2 generating the pink-red coloration and bubbling up of the black algae. That is evidence that the algae are being killed by hydrogen peroxide. The dead algae can then be removed using a toothbrush and a mild brushing wave. Just put your plants back into the tank if you'd prefer not to take the chance of aching them. Let algae eaters such as Siamese algae or Amano shrimp eaters eradicate the algae for you. 3. Fill your tank with algae eaters. Some aquatic animals have been observed to consume BBA. The Siamese algae eater is conceivably the ideal fish for the job. They are renowned for consuming different kinds of black algae. The one thing about these fish that might worry you is that when they age, they may grow to be as much as 6 inches long. Florida flagfish, nerite snails, and Amano shrimp are among more species that consume blackbeard algae. 4. Never allow it to enter your aquarium. We know it's cliche, but this is one of the greatest strategies to prevent any sort of algae from growing in your aquarium. Always ensure that everything going into a new tank has been sterilized before putting it in. Initially, carefully wash any old substrate, hardscape, etc. that you plan to reuse. Most essential, always utilize tissue culture plants or quarantine all plants before putting them within your planted aquarium and/or giving them a bleach drip. 5. Include more rapidly growing plants. In the aquarium, BBA faces the most competition from plants for nutrition. Fast-growing plants, including stem-floating or stem plants, are advantageous as they consume more nutrients than slow-growing plants, such as Anubias or Boos. Injecting constant amounts of CO2 into your aquarium plants is a significant strategy to accelerate their development rate. When CO2 is diffused in the water, plants develop considerably more quickly, and if all the parameters are satisfied, the BBA won't have an opportunity against the plants. Quick recap. In a nutshell, blackbeard algae are a frequent issue for aquarium enthusiasts. They can be managed with proper chemical treatments, physical removal, husbandry techniques, and the addition of animals eating algae. Let's recall some of the major preventative strategies to reduce blackbeard algae growth. Liquid carbon additives can be regarded as the best way to stop BBA development. The Siamese algae eater is conceivably the ideal fish for eating BBA. Reduce the period and light intensity while fighting for BBA. Always ensure that everything going into a new tank has been sterilized properly. What do you think about these preventative strategies? Let us know about this in the comments section given below. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel and activate the bell button if you enjoyed this video to get notifications when new ones are added. All for today. Thank you.